that will be Ministry of Health. Yeah. So Ministry of Health, there are basically several department or they are separated into different division. Yeah. Division number one is taking care of the hospital. So they are taking care of the hospital, the management of the healthcare system, like for this COVID-19. So these are the sector, the section. The second component will be food safety and quality. So this section basically consists of food technologies and also food nutritionists and food scientists basically. So they govern all regulation that is related to the food and beverage industry. All right. And the last portion of Ministry of Health is a department or a section which we call NPRA, National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Body, NPRA. So NPRA basically consists of pharmacists, medical doctors, some of them, and but mostly of pharmacists. Yeah. So they basically regulate all the law and the guideline that govern pharmaceutical goods and cosmetic. Yeah. So they are the one who take care of the pharmacy retails in Malaysia. They are also the one who do the auditing for the factory which produce medical devices, which produce medicine, which produce cosmetic products. So these are all under NPRA. Now, GMP is only under Food Safety Division and also NPRA Division. Yeah, it does not include the segment or the division that control hospital. All right. So there are two types of GMP. One GMP is the regulation and standard for the food and beverage sector. When I say food and beverage sector, it means not only manufacturing sector, but also the hawkers and things like that. Each one of they govern each one of service or manufacturer that provide food. Everything that encompass a food sector is under Food Safety and Quality Division. So they have GMP and they have HACCP. Now, the other division, the MPRA, the one with pharmacies one, those have only GMP. They don't have HACCP, just GMP, but they are called CGMP. Yeah, so this is CGMP is for cosmetic product. The pharmacy one, they don't, they use GMP only, but they are governed also by GMP regulation, but a different set of requirement. But both are called GMP. So GMP for food is governed by Food Act, Akta Makanan, whereby GMP for the cosmetic for pharmaceutical are governed by the pharmaceutical code, by the chemical control act and things like that. So different regulation, different standard, yeah, even though all under Ministry of Health and different group of expert. So I don't think we will have time to look at the whole both of it. So I choose food sector because food sector is the one sector that are really pushing to implement GMP in all, if possible, one day in all food manufacturer in Malaysia, as well as the service provider. Yeah, service provider, the guideline is almost the same. However, they have several other name as well. Yeah, so I will enlighten you as we go along. Yeah. So if you look at this link, okay, this is basically from the website of Food Safety and Quality Division, Ministry of Health. This is a government document which is open to the public to actually get this document or to actually read more about GMP. Okay, and most importantly, hold on, yeah. Hmm. Okay, no problem. Okay, most importantly, yeah, when we talk about GMP, this one focus on the food safety and food quality. Always remember that. So this is why we are focusing on the food sector. Food sector in Malaysia also has most small medium industry, small medium manufacturer as comparison to the cosmetic and pharmaceutical, which consists of mostly national multi corporation. Yeah, multinational corporation. And when we talk about GMP, yeah, in food sector, if you have certain knowledge or if you have a certain amount of awareness of what GMP is, your future employer will be quite happy. Yeah, will be quite happy and they will be welcoming to hire you and whatnot. Yeah, because this is a skill that is required without any doubt if you want to join the food sector. All right. Now, so let's take a look at the GMP quality system. Okay. So basically, it governs food safety and customer need. Yeah. So all this quality system doesn't matter what it is, ISO lah, GMP, HACCP, halal and whatnot. The main aim is that to protect. The main aim of the quality system is actually to protect the consumer. Yeah. So it is put there to make sure that the producer or the service provider will not cause any harm to the consumer. So this is a system that is very good and it is internationally accepted, just like ISO system. All right. So as you look at this, yeah, the application for this certificate is open to all types of food premises operator involved in food manufacturing. All right. And basically these are the benefit and whatnot. Okay. And you have your application form. And over here you can see it requires a GMP manual. Later I will go through with you. And also there, of course, there is a cost involved. Yeah, so it depends on how big your factory is. If you are or if you come from a large factory, yeah, so the processing fee and the certification, the processing fee is all the same 130, but the certification fee is different within the type of industry, because it depended on the size of the factory or the size of the organization, not the size, the physical size, but the organization. So when you submit for GMP application, what happens is that they will also ask for your financial statement. So if you make a lot of income or a lot of ROI, your ROI is high, then you will be put into the segment of large industry. But if you are a very small enterprise, your turnover rate is not that high, your ROI is quite small, then the certification fee will be revised or reduced for you. And this is one of the way that the government design this course is to encourage more small factory to participate and get this certification to ensure that across the line, yeah, whether you are a small factory or a big factory, you will still be able to ensure your customer that your product is safe to be consumed. That is why it's done in such a way. If it is too expensive, then susah lah. Kalau mahal sangat, then the company kecil-kecil tak akan apply. Okay, this is another definition that can be used, okay, as I have mentioned to you before. Beside the annual sales that will determine in which industry you will be categorized in, they also use a number of full-time employee. Yeah. So if you have 150, immediately you are in a large industry. However, if your annual sales is less than 25, so you have 150 employee, but your annual sales is only 250, then you will be charged with the micro enterprise fee. Yeah, because annual sales report, financial report, you cannot tipu, you cannot cheat. The auditor can see it clearly. So they will check, they have 150. This company A have 150 employees, but the sales is very low. They're still new. So, okay, then the charge will be only 200 for the initial one. Yeah. So renewal after 2 years, then you have to pay 100 ringgit. All right. So all the application now is very streamlined. Yeah, all the application are streamlined. Doesn't matter has SERP, DMP, MESTI, Halal, whatnot. All are streamlined, and you only have to apply online through this website that I have or I'm highlighting here. Yeah. So http for simdomestic.moh.gov.my. And this one has been revised. Last time it was through 2 years. Now each GMP certificate validity has been increased to 3 years. So every 3 years, before the 3 years is up, you have to submit through the online FOSIM website to renew your certificate. So this is the renewal fee. So if you are a company at that time, you are still in micro enterprise, so you only have to pay 100 ringgit every 3 years, and your GMP license will be renewed. Yeah. So all this now you can see from this website, and also the link here. Okay, nanti kamu senang, you can take a look lah. You can take a look at this garis panduan and whatnot. I am more concerned about your awareness of the topic or your understanding of the topic as addition to what you have learned from the JMQ class. Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing now. And I'm going to share the next one. All right. So this is in general. If you have question, you can always ask me throughout the semester. That's not a problem. Okay. So basically, okay, there are two parts that are involved when we talk about GMP certification. Yeah. One is you have to have a manual, yeah, a manual of GMP document. So this is the documentation part, yeah. So what is it? Basically, GMP manual consists of the information about the company. So you will see the background of the company, the general information, meaning what is the working hours, how many working days, how many employee that you have inside, what are the main product that you're going to produce, where is your location. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there will also be you also have to state the contact number of key personnel, especially the owner of the business, also the person in charge that KKM will or can call if there is any problem. For example, you are from ABC Manufacturing Sdn Bhd and you produce fish ball. Suddenly, your fish ball was consumed by someone in Pahang. Okay, your factory is in Kedah. But someone in Pahang consumed your fish ball and become sick. The consumer suddenly experienced food poisoning. So when they detect that, oh, this is company in Kedah, okay, they will track down the information in the FSQ, in the MOH website. When you receive a GMP certification, all your data will be in that website. So they will just backtrack and track back and find, oh, I need to call Miss Lau. This is the phone number. So KKM will contact you. Contact Miss Lau and inform her that there is problem in your product. You need to do, for example, recall all your product, and you need to stop production immediately, and we will come for audit tomorrow, for example. So that is why it's very important to leave or to write down contact number of key personnel in the manual. Yeah. You also have to put in information of the business, including the location. Yeah. So the location, usually what manufacturer do is that they will snap the picture from, or they will snap the picture from Google Maps, showing the location of the factory, and then just put in the manual. All right. You also have to come up with a food safety policy. Food safety policy is different from one company to the other company. Yeah. from one company to the other company, the food safety policy is different. So if you are producing baby food, chances are your food policy will be very rigorous. Your food policy will be very long, will be very precise and very strict because you're producing baby's food. Yeah. But if you're producing keropok lekor, for example, then your food policy will be very simple. Yeah, to ensure that, for example, example of food safety policy, to ensure that all our product will carry very low bacteria content. And then you can put up the spec lah. When you mean low, what does it mean? What is the level? Less than 100? Something like that. So these are the things that you can put in the food safety policy. You also have to put in an organizational chart, yeah, especially for the quality assurance or quality control department. Okay, so these are very important also because for traceability, yeah, just like the contact number for key personnel, the traceability in case something went wrong, and how to get back to the company, or how to get back to the owner of the company, how to go back to the production. That's very important. All right. Next one. Okay. So that is the first part of GMP. All right. So the second part, this now is part A. The second part is what we call this is part B of the manual. Yeah, we still have it. Tadi I just informed you guys. Just now there are two portions. One is documentation. One is facility. But even the documentation, the manual itself, there are several parts. So the first part are the general information, whereby the second part is this is where you go in and implement your knowledge, what you have learned in BGMQ, yeah, how to draw process flow, how to come up with a standard operating procedure. So you also have to invent a lot of forms, a lot of work instruction, yeah, master list, yeah. So if you are having a lot of machine, how to clean the machine, those are the SOP that you have to address. So you have to address how to clean the machine, how to operate the machine, how to sanitize the machine, yeah, how to sanitize the whole factory, how to control visitor, how to control supplier, from where I can purchase my raw material, from where I can purchase my packaging material, how do I store my finished good, how do I store my work in process, how do I store my incoming raw material. So those are the content of the standard operating procedure, which means standard operating procedure is very extensive. The more critical your product, the bigger your operation, the more extensive your SOP will be. Yeah, just like the food safety policy, if your product have high intensity, high risk, such as a baby product, baby food, then your standard operating procedure will reflect that. It will also have a very strong or a lot of procedure, very in-depth requirement, very detailed requirement, very detailed guideline, and so on. And then of course you will have forms. Yeah, you already learned in BGMQ kan. If you have to document everything, you have to make sure that you pick up the data from the production area. Yeah, you need to determine the specification level. Yeah, you also have work instruction, not just SOP. You also have work instruction. You also have master list that will tell you how many times do I calibrate my machine, how many times do I wash, do a thorough wash of my biggest machine, how many times do I call for pest control, things like that. All right, so that is the documentation part. All right, now facility requirement is the one that I asked you to watch just now. Okay, and okay, let us unshare this first. All right, so I boleh nampak semua orang dah. Okay, so that is the documentation part. Yeah, documentation part is the most difficult part that the factory has to do. Kenapa? They are very busy with production. Yes, the problem with IKS, small medium industry SME, is that they do not have a designated officer that can write down the SOP, the manual in detail. So sometimes, for example, sometimes they ask Aini, Sophia to write. Sometimes they ask Maisara to write. Sometimes they ask Kasing to write. So by the time your SOP also rojak, A will write like that. Aini will write as per her understanding. Kasing will write as per understanding. Maisara will write as per understanding. Yeah. SME is always like this. That is why it's one of the reason, not the only reason, but one of the reason that it's so difficult for them to get GMP is because the turnover rate of the worker is also very high. So suddenly as someone leave the factory. This is what happened. Now, for multinational corporation or big factories or big company, just like Ghana nearby your university kan, nearby our university, they have 22 staff in the quality assurance department. 22. So at least 3 is focusing on SOP and manual writing up, write up. Yeah. So this is why when they approach something, a system like this, yeah, just like you approach ISO, you have to have a designated person whose job responsibility is this. Who is supposed to do this actually? Is it Kasih? Is it Maisara? Or is it Aini? Who? You can't say, QA department. So if you have 22, which 22? Yeah. So this is something that later when you go to the working world, you will realize. Yeah. The good thing about joining multinational corporation is that they already have a very sturdy, a very strong quality system. So when you enter, when you join them, you will be exposed to a system that has already been established. You just try to understand and then implement. You don't have to design it. But if you join IKS and the IKS does not have ISO yet, does not have halal yet, chances are you are the one who have to help them design. So usually what happen is that IKS, if that IKS is under my guide, okay, I work a lot with them. I'm one of the technical expert. So I do a lot of technical consultation. So what I always ask them, before you ask your staff to do GMP manual, please send them to training. Ini bukan nak tulis cerpen cinta tau. Bukan nak tulis skrip cerita Korea. Ding-dong, letak bunga sikit, gedung-gedung. Dapat dah settle drama tu. No, this is a very technical SOP, very technical manual, which we must adhere, which we must follow the Malaysia Food Act. So it's not that easy. You just can't sit down and write whatever you want. It doesn't work like that. All right, there's a lot of element inside. Yeah, and every element need to be addressed because if your SOP is inadequate, short of certain segment, what happens is that during audit, you will fail. The audit will be done by KKM and you will fail that. Once you fail, tak dapat lah. You will not get the GMP certification. Alright. So when you talk about ISO quality system like ISO, when you talk about halal, when you talk about GMP, HACCP and whatnot, the commitment from management is very important. Allocation of budget, allocation of human resource need to be there. Yeah. Recently, right before Ramadan, I visited one of a factory in Kuala Perlis industrial area. Those from Perlis, yeah, you can go to the Kuala Perlis industrial area and look for place for internship and also for work. Yeah, there are many company setting up quite huge facilities around the area. Ya, siapa yang orang Perlis tu kalau tak tahu kata ada industrial park kat situ tu memang balik tu sat lagi balik tu pilah tengok-tengok kat situ. So there's a big industrial park over there. Yeah, so I'm one of the consultant with one of the factory over there. And this factory is quite huge. They are basically processing chicken, fresh chicken. So they have chicken cuts. They also have chicken seko-seko, whole chicken. No? that is distributed within Perlis itself. And their profit is not their profit, their gross sales is about 1.2 million a month. Yeah, but the cost is also very high because the cost of chicken is expensive. But 1.2 million a month. The owner are very young. It's about 44, 45 years old, and he's doing very well. Yeah, and they're covering most of the chicken supply in Perlis area, which is a lot. So what I see from there, okay, when I visited, so they wanted to implement GMP, or they wanted to apply for GMP certification, and they get some fund from the state of Perlis, which is good. Okay, so there is a very strong support from the state of Perlis, and they asked me to come, so I go for a visit. I sit down with the owner. The first thing that I ask him, are you willing to commit? Are you willing to commit financially and mentally? Because it's not going to be an easy thing to do. So he asked me, how much money are we talking about? I said, you have to modify 3/4 of your factory, which means 80% of the area need to be renovated. Yeah? Soon I will talk about the facility requirement. Yeah? So this is something that we have to understand as if we work in a factory. This is something that we have to understand when people talk about GMP. Okay, as an outsider or soon to join the industry, you must understand the requirement inside. So unfortunately, we are still under a lot of restriction due to COVID. Or else I will try my best to see if I could bring you guys to factory in the second half of the semester. Yeah, hopefully what to COVID die down a bit, so we can actually go and see what an actual factory looks like. Yeah, uh, to work in a factory is something that is very challenging. Yeah, there are many cases where even officer from the Ministry of Health fainted in the factory, pengsan, because it's very hot. It's very hot. Factory is very hot. They are running at a very hot pace, very fast pace. Yeah. Not every area in the factory has air condition. Even though it's air conditioned, because the size of the factory is not that cold. So for someone who has not worked in the factory, the condition could be quite harsh. Yeah, so bear that in mind. Kalau kamu jenis Insta famous, suka melawar-melawar tu, chances are sangatlah tak sesuai nak kerja dalam factory. Walaupun factory tu penuh dengan aircon macam Intel apa semua tu, tak sesuai lah sangat kalau penuh dengan makeup dengan segalanya tu, sebab sebelum masuk factory, semua makeup tu kena buang. Alright, saya pernah ada intern waktu saya masih dalam industri lagi. Pegawai saya, officer QA, terlupa nak bagi tahu, nak waktu briefing tu. Dia terlupa bagi tahu, kata nanti datang kerja jangan pakai makeup and what not, sebab quality assurance people, they will be in the factory. So you cannot, Insta famous you tak boleh masuk lah kalau dalam kilang tu. Kilang makanan, sekali lagi dekat makanan tu ada lipstick kan, tak kena ya, habis kena reject. So tak boleh, all you punya cincin-cincin emas ya, semua barang-barang kemas you, crown you semua tu tak boleh pakai. You go in as plain as possible. Okay, spek boleh lah pakai. Pakai tudung pun tak boleh ada ni benda ni, apa benda ni panggil, ni jarum-jarum ni semua memang kena take up. Kita kena pakai uniform masuk. Alright. So dia masih datang, first day. Dia one of the IPTA student jugalah, kesian. Datang-datang saja pagi-pagi kita segah dengan saya. Sebab saya tengok, bila masa pula ada staff baru ni. So staff saya berkata, sorry, this one is actually our practical student. Saya marah dengan practical student dengan staff sekali. Kenapa tak bagi tahu dekat dia? Dia akan intern dalam factory yang ada hassle. Dia adalah QA. Of course dia tak boleh pakai macam ni. Dah kena satu hal pula budak tu pergi duduk tenyeh dalam toilet tu. Nak cuci, ingat senang nak cuci makeup kalau dah 1 inci tu, tenyeh. 15 minit dia duduk dalam tu. Dah lah makeup mahal. So this is one of the thing yang kata awareness. Kalau saya lah kan jadi orang nak pergi intern tu, saya baca dulu. I will read first about the factory. If I'm going to go and perform or to do my practicum in a factory, I will at least Google the name of the factory, find out what is the type of business, and then because of now you are aware already about HACCP and GMP and whatnot, you know already, oh, JMP, meaning we cannot lah fancy-fancy, pakai baju fancy-fancy tu, unless your practicum is with human resource. Then you can wear whatever you want, because human resource will not enter production unless there is an emergency or unless someone call them up. Usually they will be in the office, so it's fine. So these are small matter tau. This is really small matter. Small matter because why? Because there's nothing. No, actually, this is not a small matter. It is big. The impact is big on the production. The impact is big on the quality system. And if I am looking to hire someone, yeah, selalunya people when we hire or when we take a practicum student, we also do assessment to see how she is. If she is excellent, then we will absorb and become our staff. So if the first day also blur from A to Z, habislah. There goes your chance. All right. So this is no need to have a high CGPA. This is common sense. Some people, the CGPA is not so high, but they have very high common sense and very high awareness. So there are sometimes they do even better than excellent student in the factory setting. Okay. So GMP is not a small matter. All right. Now, so those SOP, what not to wear, what cannot be worn when you want to go into production, those will be stated in the GMP manual. All right. So contamination. So bear in mind, if you want to go to work with food factory, cosmetic factory, pharmaceutical factory, beverage factory, then these are chances are the requirements are the same. So bear that in mind. Be mentally prepared. All right. Now, when we talk about the SOP, okay, it has to be as detailed as possible. That is one. It is also have to meet the element that has been predetermined by Ministry of Health. So I'm going to show you a bit. You can copy the link and later during your free time, you can open up one by one. Yeah. So let me show you first. Mm. Mm. Pardon. I see from here. Can I share PDF from here? This is not PDF. Okay. Right. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So your GMP manual should have all this content. Okay. Let's take a look at it. Yeah. So if you look at it, this checklist, I call it checklist. Yeah. This checklist basically cover both what is required in the manual and also the facility requirement. So look at 1.0. From there, you can see 1.0. This document stated out the layout and infrastructure of the facility. So these are the elements inside. Okay, you can read in details later. They even highlighted how the changing room. The changing room is the room, a room that is designated for operators or for workers to change into uniform before they actually enter the factory. Yeah, so that's called changing room. All right, look at 1.12. Okay, 1.12, the water supply. Okay, the requirement for the water supply is stated. How is the storage condition? 1.15, so that is the storage requirement. 2.0, equipment and utensils. Yeah, because you are handling food. Okay, you can't just use any equipment as you like. You have to make sure that it does not pose any issues, quality issues to the product, and most importantly, it should not bring any contamination that might contaminate your food or your finished good and cause harm to the consumer. Okay, 3.0 is sanitary facility and control. This one include the toilets, the cleaning area and things like that. 4.0, still facility, maintenance and sanitation. Yeah. So what is the cleaning procedure? What is the cleaning frequency? How do you clean the facility? How do you clean the maintenance? What are the tools? How do you clean the equipment? Okay. So 4.7 is pest control. I will touch all these bit by bit in every classes. Yeah. So to further engrave it into you. Okay, so 4.7 is pest control program. 4.8 is waste management. Basically, how do you get rid of your rubbish? How do you control your drainage? Okay, 4.9 is sewage management. 4.10 utensil. Okay, after the facility requirement, okay, and number 1 until number 4 is about facility. Then only you jump into the process control. Okay. So the process control involve a lot of the actual process involved in operating the factory. This is where operation management come in. How do you handle your raw material? How do you handle your store, the product in the store? How do you handle your process according to the process flow? What are the parameters that you must control? Ini all the elements, statistical process control, everything will come under this one lah. Okay, right? So those are the storage, food processing. These are the operation management part. Yeah. How do I control, monitor, and ensure that everything meets the expectation, requirement, but most importantly, the specification as stated in the Food Act 1985-84. Okay. So transportation also is here. Traceability. Each product must have traceability, must have batch number. How do I figure out if something happened? Can I trace back to the company? Process, how do I relate it to the process, to the machine, to the person who actually operate and produce that product. Okay, so you are talking 9.0 is the internal audit. This one you have learned in BJMQ. All right, same thing, training. All right, okay. So if you later on, please carefully go through this thing, you will realize that the element in the 5.0 and above, okay, is very similar to the element in ISO 9001, 9002. All right. So this is why, yeah, when we talk about quality system, all right, when we talk about quality system, the benchmark is the same. But at the same time, you have to customize it according to factory, according to the industry. But the benchmark is the same. Then you modify, you customize it. Just like what I said previously, if I produce baby product, I have to customize it to what extent. If I produce cosmetic, there are many types of cosmetic. Betul tak, girls? There are cosmetic that until the inside of your mouth. Now, the criticality of that product is different from the cosmetic that you put on the skin. So you have to customize. You have to customize the extensiveness and the depth of your process control. So this is why it's very important for operation management student to at least understand the basic concept, because in GMP, just like ISO 901, 9002, right, the content is actually the content that you have gone through for the past 4 years. This is where you implement your every subject that you have learned. The storage tu macam mana you learn dalam you punya POM. FIFO, 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 ingat lagi tak? FIFO, okay, first in, first out. How do you do batching? How do you do Kanban? How do you control using MRP? How do you control your supply chain? How is your purchasing system and things like that? These are the paper that you have underwent for the past 3 years. All right. So you can't run away because this is actually the portion of operation management. All right. So bear with me while we go through this. It's not like you have any choice anyway. You have to bear with me until the end of semester, right? So do me a favor, download everything that all the links that I provided in the chat room. Download it, ya. Sambil duk nganga-nganga tunggu nak apa nama buka puasa nanti. Daripada awak duk bergosip-gosip liar dah habis tolak markah puasa hari ni, lebih baik awak tengok benda tu bincang dengan kawan. Tak payah duk gosip-gosip Insta famous tu, tak ada guna langsung. At least if you know about this, what happens is that you have extra knowledge. People, one day when you apply, people call for an interview. If they ask you, do you know what is GMP? Oh yeah, I have some basic knowledge of GMP. I have learned a bit during my course in UUM. So they will probably ask you, what do you know? I know that GMP has two portions. One is the documentation, one is the facility requirement. Then they might ask you, okay, the facility requirement. What is the facility requirement for GMP plant? At least you can boleh sebut 5 tu. At least you can mention 3 also okay lah. So you have to have control of process, control of pest control. I must control the cleaning of machinery. We also have to make sure that all our general area like the toilet, the pest control, the sewage system are all properly documented, has a adequate procedure, properly recorded and things like that. At least it shows that you know something. Yeah, 0 and 1 is still better than 0. All right. So do me a favor, download that thing and go and read about it. Also read from the FSQ link where it gives you a basic introduction to what exactly is GMP. All right. Now, I believe there are two. Okay, so I'm going to stop the GMP part here because the details we will go through in the upcoming classes. Yeah. Now, I believe ada 2 orang hutang dengan saya. Berhutang dengan saya. Firdaus Ragi, are you here? Firdaus?
Yes, Doctor.
Where are you? Mana Firdaus?
Yes.
Which one?
Can you hear me, Doctor?
Yes. 271894, right? Am I right? Firdaus, your matric number is 271894, am I right?
Dalamnya ada dua
No.
Firdaus.
Oh, there is another
bukan.
Firdaus. Which one? Can you put up your hand?
Bukan. Ya.
Firdaus Ragi, can you put up your hand? Oh, okay, there you are. Awak punya gambar freeze ke? Kenapa awak nampak diam ni tak cakap? Okay. Muhammad Firdaus Ragi 273. Let me record. Sekejap lagi markah you tak ada. Nanya. 273. 587. Am I right?
Yes, Doctor.
587. Okay, Firdaus, to end the class today, you have 15 minutes. Can you please present your portion of the assignment? Firdaus dengar tak? So share the thing
Yes.
and present to the rest of the class. Okay, go ahead. Proceed. Saya tunggu.
Can you see, Doctor?
Okay. Yes, I saw it clearly. So you can proceed. Please proceed.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Muhammad Firdaus Ragi, and I will present about my part, which is about comparing the business model before and after their success, extract and discuss what are the major change the company forward and change into impressive success. Okay, first, before success in selling fried seaweed, top he has a lack of capital, so he sell with a small business. And then second, the taste of fried seaweed at this time has only one taste, which is the original taste. So people will buy it, but not have several tests. And then the third, the size of packaging was too big and not suitable for 7-Eleven. So 7-Eleven will not accept the packaging was too big and not suitable for the customer, and then the process of making fried seaweed on time is manual, and the quantity produced is small. So top uh, the process to make fried seaweed on this time is manual, and it will make take some time to produce the product. After success, top have something unique packaging and hard to find in the area. So when top have unique packaging, and so it will make the customer will buy it because it looks so attractive. And then second, the taste of fried seaweed has different tastes after the success, like uh original, spicy, and others. And then has packaging that is very easy to carry and eat anywhere, because top find the way to make his packaging can sell in the 7-Eleven. And last, the process of making fried seaweed is very simple and easy and can made in a short time using a machine. So in this time, top let's find the good way, which is using a machine, because he has can because he can produce so many product in a short time. And then case discussion. What are the major change that propelled the company forward and change into an impressive success? Okay, first, Top has a nature that wants to try, and is not easy to give up, and to continue to achieve success in every business he does. And then always to research on every other seller to find out which each of the best ways to achieve a viable business target. So Top before he success, he go he do a research and look after the other seller to make his business go success. And then gaining attention from customers by selling unique fried seaweed is one of the quickest ways to achieve success in business. So when Top has the proper business, like selling unique fried seaweed, so people will customer will look the his business look attractive and want to buy it. And when he success, people will people will buy his product again and again. That's all from me, Doctor.
Later, mic later.
Doctor,
On already. Firdaus, you are not answering the question properly. Similar to the problem in the last class. Your question is basically comparing the business model. So where is the comparison of business model? Do you know what a business model is? Katakanlah next class, I give you one question and I ask everyone to identify the business model. Do you know what a business model is? Lupalah tu. Do you know what a business model? How many types of business model are there that you have went through during a Bachelor of Operation Management classes? What is a business model? Kalau tahu buat business canvas, you should know also how to identify the business model. What is business model? If I ask you very simply, What is the business model of KFC? I think I have to revise this thing. Okay, this Monday, I'm going to ask you to do that. To identify what is business model. Kids, don't study because you want to pass exam. Study to get knowledge. When you study to get to pass your exam, to get A and whatnot, you will forget. Business model is something that you must know by just in a blink of an eye. If I ask you, what is the business model of KFC? You're supposed to be able to tell me, business model of KFC is this. Okay? How are you going to be operation manager if you also don't know what on earth is a business model? So go back over the weekend. There is no break, long break for you. You are in final semester already. No break lah, break even lah, break dance ke apa. No. Go back and study what on earth is business model. If Dr. Riz asks you, what is the business model of KFC? What is the business model of McDonald's? What is it? Can you answer me? So on Monday, I'm going to give each one of you one company. You don't get to choose. I will choose. I will provide to you 26 company. Everyone will have one company, okay? And you will let me know what is the business model of each company. So we will do that in class. Just because we cannot see face to face does not mean that you cannot discuss all these things. So get ready, okay? Get ready. You will be given enough time. The company, you will do it in class, and by the end of the class, we will pick several and you will discuss it in the class. So 30 minutes of discussion or 30 minutes of work and 1 hour of discussion. So 1 hour, 1 person past 8 minutes is more than enough. Semua benda lupa. Macam mana nak pergi kerja macam ni? Balik sekali beli Christmas 2-3 kotak apa makan. Apa business model pun tak tahu. Business model. Tengok je. Tahu saja that company 7-Eleven. What's the business model? Okay. If I ask you, those who are interested to become an entrepreneur, if I ask you, okay, you want to open up a business that is trading business or trading of fresh produce, farm produce. What is the business model? Can you answer? You should know this. You should know this at the tip of your finger. Final year student, come on. So over the weekend, tolong baca, study balik, pergi carilah korek-korek buku, pinjam buku junior. What on earth is business model? How many types of business model are there? How am I going to know this is the type, this is the type? This is a homework for you. So on Monday, we're going to do that in class. This is class discussion. Okay. So Firdaus, tengok balik. Soalan tu jawapannya salah tu. Soalan jawapannya salah. Kalau kita tak tahu, if we don't understand the business model, we also will not know how to do SWOT analysis. We will also not know how to do pest analysis. So pest analysis, SWOT analysis, you always have to refer back to the business model. If you know what is the business model, it's pretty easy. Okay, so tolong jangan don't do this anymore. So basic stuff that you supposed to know, you kena tahu lah. So mana apa nama dia? With the Ahmad, where are you? Dia tenggelam kat mana lah? Ahmad, muka dia pun tak nampak lah. Sekejap saya cari. Stay there, jangan lari. Sekejap saya cari dia. Mana dia? Mana dia? Ahmad. Dia ada masuk tadi. Ada orang dah keluar ni. Sebab sekarang tinggal participant 26 only. Supposed to be 27 plus me. So, be 26. Gone already. This one thing lah ni. Mula dah ni. Mencari calon yang akan mengulang paper ni. Aish. Kamu tak serius betul. Hati-hati ya. Jangan buat benda macam ni. Ya, kita dah hujung pengajian ni kena disiplin, kena jaga sikit. Alright. So since dia tak ada, saya cakap bahasa Malaysia lah. Dia tak ada. Now, ingat apa saya kata tu? So balik, baca balik, cari balik notes apa bendanya, business model ni. Okay. What exactly is business model? Okay. And macam mana kita bentukkan business model ataupun kita sesuaikan business model kita dengan produk kita, type of business. Business model ni dia ada relation dengan type of product, type of industry, type of product. Daripada situ lah baru kita buat PES analysis, baru kita boleh buat SWOT analysis. Lepas kita buat analysis tu kadang-kadang we find out, alamak, my business model is not really that suitable lah. Kalau tengok daripada SWOT analysis, I banyak weaknesses. W banyak. So because of that, let me adjust my business model a bit. Bagi the S tu banyak, strength banyak, weakness turun. That's why business model penting. Okay, and since you told me in the last class, okay, Nurul Bazira happy pula saya bagi dia extra work. Bagus, nanti saya tambah lagi, suka. Tak apalah, baik lagi daripada yang tertidur ni, kepala pun saya tak nampak dah ni. Okay, now the next one, since kamu dah dengan yakinnya bagi tahu dekat saya, kamu tahu macam mana nak buat business canvas, lepas buat business model, identify dalam kelas tu, you will continue with the business canvas. So betul-betul bila dia cakap tahu tu, make sure tahu betul lah. Jangan ajar kawan-kawan ajaran sesat pada dia sesat. Habis satu kelas sesat saja. Alright, so tolong balik study sikit. Study sikit so that Isnin kita boleh buat dengan lancar. Saya bagi setengah jam, 30 minit untuk buat business, identify business model, buat analisis kepada syarikat tu, dan seterusnya try to draw business canvas dia sebenarnya apa. So tolong guna, kamu akan guna semua tools, especially SWOT dengan PES tu, apa yang kamu belajar dan strategi operasi tu akan banyak kamu gunakan sepanjang semester ini. Okay? Boleh? Alright? Boleh tak boleh pun kena buat lah. Hari Isnin, we will meet again in class. Kena rajin-rajin sikit, okay? So, tolong tengok balik. Mana tadi? Firdaus? Melayu. Dah, hilangkan gambar-gambar dia sekali dah. Oh, Firdaus. Firdaus, lost in translation? Tak ada dah terus. Alright, so apa yang kita akan buat ni, remember what I asked you to do. Okay, I'm going to stop class here sebab ada yang ada kelas pukul 4 ni. Alright, so selamat berbuka kepada yang berpuasa. Okay, yang tak berpuasa silalah balik makan. I'll see you guys again this Monday. Okay, seriously tolong buat homework tu, jangan terkiar-kiar dalam kelas nanti. Nanti kena marah tu orang patut pula. Lagi viral saya pula kena marah. So selamat berbuka and I'll see you guys again this Monday. Alright, Assalamualaikum and goodbye.
Thank you, Doktor. Selamat buka.
Terima
Thank you,
kasih.
Doktor.
Sama-sama.
Thank you, Doktor.
Bye.